Wait a second, was I wrong about the Vital Garter the whole time? I thought the thing inside the ship was the Vital Garter. I guess that was just a test thing to show how the thing is moving. Because the Vital Garter was actually this giant thing. What the fuck? Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. Theta here, back with another episode of Infinite Ryvius, or Ryvius, however you actually say it. Once again, no comments, but I do come with notes from last episode. Oh, obviously, the thing that I should also do is bring up the board. Alright, the board. There is not a lot to go over with regards to the board, but I feel like I constantly need to have it shown so that y'all can see what is being updated, what is not, vis-a-vis character relationships, the massively intertangled lines of subway tunnels that is everyone's connections to one another. And, you know, I really should start including these as like imager links at the bottom of the YouTube videos, I guess. Because I guess that would be the easiest way, because there's not a lot you can parse out here with this. Like, sure, you can see everyone's interconnectedness on a local level, like when Team Blue to each other. But when I zoom out here and like how Ryu is connected, say, to Yuki, really hard to parse that out. So maybe there's just an element of how the board works or how I display the board that I really need to like figure out. So, I mean, if you have ideas, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, yeah, I think the only thing that changes here is that a couple of other characters were mean to other characters that they haven't been mean to before. I think I was also going to change the relationship between Lukeson and Stein, but that comes up in a note that I have, so we'll just cover that in a bit, and otherwise just leave this here so you can get a look at for a minute or two. But my notes. I have to wonder if the condition of the ship is a result of everyone's hope to be rescued. More so, I mean, in the fact that everyone is desperately optimistic that they won't be trapped in the ship for much longer, and are treating it that way. Taking care of the garbage, maintaining the ship, cleaning up, those are long-term concerns, and you don't have to worry about the long-term if you don't plan to stick around, right? Especially if you don't give a ship, if you don't give a shit about the ship you are trapped on. I guess they gave Mars a magnetosphere with whatever that thing was that got destroyed once they got close to Mars. We saw one in orbit around Earth when they described the strengthening of its Van Allen belt in the world building before. If there are colonies on other planets in the system and the Sea of Gadult spread across the entire system, then they'd have to protect those colonies as well. So it would make sense to show these things wherever they want to make it clear that human inhabitation is present. Another point in this wise favor is that they maintained the discipline of the kids on the ship. When they were in charge, all of our scenes were of people working on stuff and maintaining the ship's systems. Even though the hope to be rescued was there, I feel like the Zwei were also focused on maintaining the status quo. I might be mistaken, but I can swear I heard one of them saying something about practical experience and graduating off of it once they got back. Then Blue takes over, and it's all about tearing down the symbol of authority that was the Zwei, and stripping them of their uniforms, and letting things devolve into anarchy. As lazy as I can be, I know which version of the ship I'd prefer to be stuck on, and it's one not covered in graffiti. Krat getting picked on by a crowd is our only real indication of the discrimination of the Zwei on screen, except for later when they're trying to storm the bridge, but that's as a result of the Blues actions, so I'm taking it more towards the beginning of the episode, where the implication against the Y is apparent based on their own actions. But right after that scene, I'm pretty sure we see Kiki crouched in front of a bunch of garbage with cans of what I'd guess to be soda next to her. The confusing thing to me is that I can't tell if she's trying to pull something out of the garbage or if she's doubling over in pain. It's a very confusing shot composition, but also makes me think of 2 episodes ago when I was talking about how Izumi was wandering the halls with an apparent neck injury. If we've done a time jump, there's no telling who might have been injured, and if the medical students we saw early on are even taking care of anyone anymore. Um, Notation here, though. While I was writing this, I got right to the scene where Kiki and Izumi are in a scene together, and apparently are doing just fine. So I guess I was overreacting. At the same time, it looks like Izumi is hogging all the clothes and bartering for more music. So the OSB was originally going to destroy the Bratica, aka the Ryvius. Then for some reason got new orders to capture it, I guess. So that Conrad says, last episode, that they are going to lie about communications and go back to the original plan, which then makes me wonder why the initial change in plan in the first place. Was it because they thought they could eliminate all the kids with the station falling into the adult and get away with it? While they could also then commandeer the ship? If so, that would explain why they would just ignore the hails the Ryvius was doing. If they always planned to kill the kids, then they would have no problem with it in the first place. The lack of the human element, I guess, is what I'm alluding to there. That nobody cares that there's like a crying kid on the radio communications. I'm pretty sure it was mentioned that Michelle and Criff were both nursing students. When the food is getting passed out on the bridge, Michelle is putting something that looks like pills in her hand and downing them, then skipping her meal. I think I said it during the last reaction, but that reads to me like someone with a problem that's got unfettered access to medical supplies. I have to think they are showing us this brief glimpse to put in our heads later when something might come of it, like an absence of the supply when needed, or a medical emergency from an overdose. Well, I said the meritocracy thing would come back to blow up in our faces. I guess it was just irony that the guy who implemented it is the one we see getting punished by it. Secretly the most incompetent, but punishing others for their lack of skill. At the same time, I guess that also throws my board idea out the window. I said I was making lines inside of specific groups to show which would be the most likely to ally with one another. Well, I had Stein and Luxon joined with a green line due to their earlier interactions, and Stein immediately agrees with Fu that Luxon doesn't need to eat that day for having done nothing. That was the thing I was mentioning here, that I still have Luxon and Stein with a green line. I think I meant to turn that white, because again, the implication was that I had them inside of this Y crew together, which automatically implies that they should be allied. But the green line was the indication that Stein has backed up Luxon in the past, so my implication being that if something went down, I would think Stein would back up Luxon again. Except then Fu comes and says, no, you can't eat today, and Stein backs up Fu, which then implies that I'm wrong in my guess that Stein would back up Luxon, and then the whole thing falls apart about internal group lines. So, I tried. Also, speaking of Criff, I don't know if she was messing with Koji on her own, or due to Blue shrugging her off before and trying to get back in his good graces via whatever that making an example of him thing he had been talking about before. Trying to drive a wedge into this Y crew and Koji where he wouldn't do it on his own via Charlie. I'm thinking I meant she wouldn't do it. I mean, I'm just messing this one up. The idea being that Blue had mentioned before about driving or making an example of Koji, and it doesn't seem like Koji was going to mess up to such a degree that they would make an example of him. So, her messing around with Koji after having gotten Charlie so well into her pocket seems like she is creating a situation by which Charlie is going to make a problem with Koji, and they're going to use that to then make an example of Koji. That is just my guess, but it seems like that's something Criff is up to get back into Blue's good graces. Alright, and my last note here. Despite whatever control that Blue seems to be up to, manipulating everyone, I at least appreciate that when the situation gets serious on their approach to Mars, that he has the wherewithal to listen to all the suggestions presented in order to make a reasonable course of action. If he had actually gone power mad with the control of ship weapons and just wanted to fight, I have to think that he wouldn't have bothered letting them send a message like they did. He was clearly expecting the worst before they ever got to Mars, per his conversation with Julie in the hallway. Before they even cleared the adult, the readout in front of him was on the weapon systems. He's preparing for danger, but seems ready to find his way out of that as well. It's either that or he's dipping into social engineering as well, knowing that these people are more likely to do what he says, if that in some way they believe that he will get them to freedom, than if he were to just exert full control and do what he wanted. I don't think that explained very well. That if he is manipulating them into believing that no matter what crazy thing he does, he's doing it to get them to freedom, they're probably more willing to do it than if he just exerted his full control with his gang members and whatnot to force them to do a thing, and then he did whatever he wanted, right? You've got to make them want to serve you rather than forcing them to serve you, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at here. So Blue might be like a freaking genius when it comes to this sort of thing. It's either that or it's all just playing out well to what he wants, and I'm just over analyzing. Either way could be true. But yeah, no, that is where we are at. And otherwise, I guess let's go ahead and just hop on into it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
We should be in mid-fight now, if memory serves. Yeah, they said they need like 20 people in the room below. Yeah, as we saw at the end of the last episode, there was essentially a box floating out towards the enemy. I don't know what this is, though. This looks more like the main weapon systems that we saw at Fire. Does Blue even know what this is up to or what this does? What is this, like half the size of the ship? It's a lot bigger on the outside than it is on the display.
ちの本当の旅の始まりだった。そう、ここからが。
So has everything up till now been an establishment of what the onboard ship situation is like versus how it began? I mean, if so, I don't know what to think about it. Because again, I liked it when the Zwei were in charge. Not a big fan of Blue and his gang anymore. I really liked it when they were the outsiders. You know, like how when they rescued them from the infiltrators and they were like the go-getters, the action takers. But now that they're actually holding people at gunpoint and like, you know, last episode when Julie's in the hall and she like turns to Blue and he like hand against the wall forces her back. That was just fucking uncomfortable for me. Because unfortunately, again, I think Julie is my character in the show. I know I've got Koji over here displayed in the thing where I usually put the character I represent myself as in, but I don't find myself to be a Koji in this situation. I'm behind Julie. I guess vis-a-vis puts me a little bit behind Patrick as well. Or Pat, rather. I guess now we get to actually see what the Vital Garter does. God damn it, Pat, you're too cute. I mean, they said it was a loss of gravity. I mean, a loss of power. Damn it, Kumi. Oh, the fucking worst. I guess it goes to show you how much of the ship is built around the Vital Garter. That it is a major part of the energy system, I guess. I mean, fuck the kid. The kid is annoying as shit. I mean, they had, what, like a couple of hours before the next attack came in, right? They did send the other segment of Wise down to the power room, I believe. Seems like a targeted attack. Oh, we're finally taking the ship back? Please let us be taking the ship back. We're really going heavy on the fan service this episode. Legit, I was hoping that they were gonna like poison the food or something. That's why they were giving Koji his own thing. Wait a second, was I wrong about the Vital Garter the whole time? I thought the thing inside the ship was the Vital Garter. I guess that was just a test thing to show how the thing is moving. Because the Vital Garter was actually this giant thing. What the fuck? I can't tell. Is it a different thing, or is it just... Oh yeah, no, that's different. So the other one is like a simulated one, and this is the real one. Yeah, I saw your enhancement, Charlie. So it's being controlled by remote via strings? Or wires?
20G で加速してる。バイタルガーダーに人が乗ってたら即死だよ。大丈夫なの本当に。あなた何？
Or is it like laser communications?
工事か。工事の接近する7つの熱源を確認。最初に交差した艦隊です。接触まで10分30秒。嫌いなようです。軌道上に分かれました。死んでしまうじゃないか。遅れてしまうね。何があった？攻撃が来てるんだ。使えないな君たちは。
Damn it, Charlie. I mean, it being unmanned, I guess, is an amazing way to make it be able to do things that normal mechs couldn't do in these kind of shows. Doesn't seem to be moving incredibly fast though. God, I hope it isn't that little kid jumps on the thing and like makes it all work. So like the most annoying people are the most important people. Who are you, purple lady? What, does this fall into the purview of Super Robot? I mean, it seems almost in the realistic realm. Because gravity control isn't completely unrealistic. You still got the ships that deployed those mines to worry about. What are you up about? Lady, what are you... So you didn't know? I am, like, a mystery to me. I don't even have a clue who she is. I mean, I had the idea that maybe she's, like, a ship AI, or everyone's thoughts together on the ship as a person.
機動戦移転を突破。当艦隊との最大接近時まで1時間52分。
最接近距離を2万に修正。観測情報は全てウェールズリングに転送しろ。全艦攻撃準備。
Again, the benefit of space combat being that it takes an exceptionally long amount of time to
大
do.
丈夫なのか休みにして。この辺で一息つけないとみんな持たない。時間がかかるんだよ、宇宙の戦闘は。
もうハラハラさせないでよ、イクミのバカ。
ひしこいてやってんのにそういう言い方する？
でもハラハラした。
ちゃんとガードしたっしょ。
結果じゃなくて過程が問題なの。
なんだよそれ。
ずっと練習してたじゃん。
コージ、なんとかしろ。言われても。
ってばっかじゃない。
I like it. I appreciate it. They're like the heart.
ちゃんと守ってよね。気引こうとしちゃって。けなげ。そんなんじゃ違うもん。
もういいだろ。こちらリヴァイアス。
They remain like a cute little couple throughout the run of the show so far,
了解した。
unchanged by the drama around them.
そっちはどう？
最初の時あれ
コージ、プライベートに切り替えなきゃ。
あ、ごめん。ちょっと混乱あったけど今は大丈夫。
そうよかった。あ、それから梢に心配すんなって。
自分で言えば。じゃあな。
あ、おいちょっと待ってよ。
人質じゃねえのかよ。
いただき。
あ、僕の返して。
お前もたまにはダイエットしなきゃな。
Again, do not like that kid.
さすがツバイだ。あれ、一息ついてくれ。いや、バイタルガーダーの性能だよ。こいつがあれば何だってできる。戦うことも逃げることもな。はあ。
It's interesting that they split into two different ships, basically.
なあ小勢、イクミが心配すんなって。
どうだ、バイタルガーダーは。
計算以上の結果ね。強すぎる。私たちじゃ持て余す力よ。ねえ。何？さっきなんか言いかけたでしょ？何だったの？もういいの。
Well, here we go. Assuming it's a harem of some sort.
用が終わったんだから早く帰るよな、葵。
分かってます。
へえ、意外と関白だね。
幼馴染だだけだよ。
みんなだらけてないで集中してほしいな。敵の攻撃はまだあるんだから。
Shut up, Charlie.
トイレ行ってきた。
僕をチャーリーと呼ぶな。
Oh man, I thought we were applauding Pat.
今のところは問題ないけど。
エンジが最小じゃねえか。何やってんだよ。
ごめんなさい。
あ、敵の攻撃だ。進行ルートの全域をカバーするほどの嫌いだぜ。
艦隊も加速してます。全部で7つ。
懲りねえ奴らだ。
7 fleets.
1時間もあれば軌道変更できるわ。
私もそう考えていたところだ。賛成する。
バイタルガーダーに道を作らせろ。
何を言ってるの？
機雷軍を突破して敵艦隊を蹴散らす。
そんな私たちだけで戦えると本気で思ってるの？相手はプロフェッショナル。
本体を叩かなきゃ攻撃はやまねえだろうが。否定ばっかしてんじゃねえ。そんなこと言ってるからお前らつまいは閉じるんだよ。
I don't know, man.
攻撃するしないより今は機雷軍を突破することを考えるのが先決だと思うけど、生き延びることの方が。こちらリヴァイアス、機雷軍は転送したルートで回避します。バイタルガーダーで隣接する機雷の排除作業をお願いします。
コージ、いくつあると思ってんだ。
やれってんだよ、ソン。こんなルートで行けるか。
Sorry, having a character named Sun is really
敵の誘いだって見え見えだろうが。
getting yelled at.
かよお前ら。
Your name is Sun.
エレに従え。何様だよ。ただのオペレーターが偉そうにすんだ。離れて見てるだけのくせにブリッジからの指示を聞けねえってんだよ。相葉。
勇気。みんなで決めたことなんだからちゃんと従いなさい。わがまま言ってる時じゃないでしょ。
あ、おい、なんで
出てくんなよ。
だって聞いてんの勇気。
とっとと帰れバカ。
冗談。
葵さんは口出ししないで。
そうだよ、お前は邪魔なんだって。
邪魔って何よ。
ここは俺たちの場所なの。
ざけんな。
Did he get thrown through a doorway because he did something to Aoi? It's because Aoi had a crush on him, and then he dated another girl, and then that's why we had the flashback to them on the hill. And Yuki's like white knighting Aoi this whole time and beating the shit out of Koji for it. I mean, we know Yuki's #1 at piloting, apparently.
どうせ責任は奴らがバイタルガーダーの性能テストを兼ねてな。あなた、人を何だと思ってるの?
The problem is that it takes like one fuck you, Blue. Stop pointing the gun at my favorite character. Like you said, changing the color of those lines. Yeah, because technically you're on a different ship. So then you get the Vital Garter, the ship controlling the Vital Garter, and the Ryvius. I mean, its gravity control is super wide range. It just feels like it takes forever to program it to do anything. This is why they have all these people. What the fuck are you doing? Okay. I think I was right about the other thing. That was Blue. Right, so Akumi's sister died, clearly. Because that's also the girl from the opening that I talked about before. So am I right that the purple girl is like all the thoughts of all the people on the ship? Yeah, was it Yuki or was it the purple girl? Conrad ship? Yeah. Okay, Conrad now has backstory shit too. Ryvius via.
リフト間との通信途絶しました。ゲドルドか？今調べます。連絡がつかない。
来る。
ウェルズリングの軌道を確認。我が艦隊はこれより陽動に移る。
What the hell is this? Is this the other faction, or no? Okay, I guess I'll never find out. God damn it! There's too many mysteries in this show, or too much for me to think about in any given moment. Like, which the purple girl? Is she Via? Is that like the control system for the Bratica? And that she's like been disconnected from that system, which is why we see her floating around, and then. But the idea that she also seems to embody the thoughts of the characters on the ship at the same time. And I very much think I was right about the whole flashback scene to the hill that we also saw here. Because it feels like Aoi, two previous comments, Aoi has a thing for Koji, but Koji has a thing for other girls, and that Yuki is taking that as an offense to himself, and he's like beating the crap out of Koji for it.
バイタルガーダーを操舵するリフト艦との連絡が途絶えた。攻撃力のないリバイアスの中で様々な心が錯綜する。俺は思う。たとえ人が信じられなくても、明日が信じられなくても、今できること、それだけを。
Review the Earth. That's right, I don't have a problem if anything happens to Pat. Pat is my Marie of this show. Marie from Nadia, Secret of Blue Water, if you follow that reference. But yeah, no, there was like other references, like the flashback stuff, like Akumi and the dancing girl hologram that I mentioned being in the opening. And I referenced that as, I think, possibly being towards the girl he says in the first episode that he couldn't save. And I believe that is what's being referenced now, that it was his sister. And I'm pretty sure it's still the same girl that he won't talk about from before. Unfortunately, I was so focused on the Aoi, Koji, Yuki thing and the Akumi mystery girl thing that I didn't really pick up on the other ones. So obviously those will be stuff from the note section next time. Otherwise, yeah, the fact that the Vital Garter is a portion of the size of the ship and a massive energy drain on it as well. Pretty cool, didn't see that coming. I like the element that it's being controlled by like laser guidance, in that it's not directly piloted, which allows it to do like 20 Gs, and well, what's indicated is that it can do shit that it couldn't do with a human pilot on board. What that amounts to in the show so far is, you know, not the most dramatic stuff. The fact that it has apparently gravity-based weaponry, though, that's pretty cool. That's why I was asking, is it in the realm of a super robot? But it's still like in the realm of Star Trek, which is to say based on physical sciences, so might actually still be a real robot in that respect. I don't know. There is an element of the solids that I don't find to be all that entertaining. Like, I understand that they're like techno-babbling how the programming stuff works, so that if you want something to happen, you've got to pre-program it into a solid that then basically we see visually turning into a sphere, which I guess is just like it is basically like decompiling, or sorry, not decompiling. It's basically like compiling a program. That they've got to make a program to do everything that they want to do and then compile it before it actually happens. That is not visually interesting, but I guess it allows me to see that they have to do stuff, which makes the characters have to be in positions to then have it operate, which then allows for drama to happen. Like, if we want this thing to happen, we've got to send these 5 people to this room where they're going to sit together for a while, typing away at the computer, and of course they're going to talk and cause drama to happen. I understand that sort of element of it, but narratively it's just weird. And I mean, why narratively? I mean, I have a hard time, not narratively at all, I have a hard time wrapping my head around it. I'm just so used to normal sci-fi where, hey, I say thing happens, we move on. That sort of thing. Other than that, I'm glad the girls finally got back to talking to the guys instead of the guys always being asleep when stuff happens, and I really wish they had taken the effort to try and take over the bridge. I understand where we're coming from, that Blue is making calls this Y wouldn't take, and in that they're kind of saving the ship, even though internally to the ship dynamics they are antagonists. I just don't like them, I guess is my problem. And the fact that Blue keeps pointing his gun at Julie, my favorite character, it's a real difficult pill to swallow. Other than that, though, I think all my other thoughts are going to have to be encompassed in my next notes for the next episode, because I'm just going to go into brain rot mode and ramble if I'm left to my own devices, so I've got to mitigate that. So otherwise, I have been Theta, this has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?